The Game of Life is based on the famous Milton Bradley board game, which can now be played online. It focuses on players living out their entire lives on the game board. At SFCG, the Game of Life has been transformed to address financial wellness. Game cards focus on expenses, debt, future goals, desires, and mishaps, and how players can navigate life with proper planning and budgeting. The game incorporates real-life scenarios and facilitates deeper discussions about money management and is designed to help you make necessary adjustments little by little. Get prepared for a session filled with fun exercises and discussions designed to help you achieve 3 main goals. 1. Meet day-to-day finances. 2. Set and achieve goals. And 3. Protect against risks. The session will follow 3 main areas. Education, where you learn the basics of financial literacy. Skills building, where you manage your money matters. Brainstorming and group discussions, where you get to decide what elements should be included in your organization's holistic financial wellness program. It's your play! Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Well, you're telling me good afternoon. It's morning, David. It's morning. Good morning, everyone.
You're right. I've been up
We hope you're all having a good time.
Yep.
I fully understand that. Okay.
Yep.
So,
How's everyone doing? We're gonna take a different kind of format. We know you've been sitting for quite a while. It's time to have some fun. If you know anything about us at SFCG, we're about having fun. So we've had some very great courses, very intensive, lots of information. Now it's time to put some of that information that we've learned to use and with some practical applications. I want to make sure everyone has their budget sheet. Can we drop it in the comments just in case anyone didn't get a chance to download it, Megan?
okay, let's get that done.
And also, I want to take the opportunity. We have an amazing FinLit toolkit. It's digital. There's also a digital swag bag. Nothing has been left out of this conference. We thought about every experience that you would have at a conference, and we've tried to incorporate that. So if you go to our landing page and you scroll down, you will see our FinLit toolkit. You just click on it anywhere on the toolkit and you will access a lot of resources. A lot of the information that we presented here today, there are a lot of activity sheets. So we encourage you to download some of that information. Also, there's a digital swag bag with lots of information, lots of interesting finds. So be sure to download that as well. And anyone remember this game from growing up, the Game of Life? It was right up there with Monopoly. It was right up there with all of the other board games, categories, Pictionary. But the Game of Life has so much, so many scenarios that we can apply to our everyday lives. And so we're going to take it nice and slow and go through a whole budgeting exercise. You've been hearing about how to do it. We're actually going to hold your hand and we're going to do it together. But we want to wish everyone happy Tuesday.
Happy
It's
Tuesday,
a palindrome
everyone.
date. And in addition to being a palindrome date today for the entire week, if you write the date for the entire week from 2/21/22 to 2/22/22 to 23/22, all the way down to, I believe, 2/29/22.
It's not a leap year, Javid.
What's that?
It's not a leap year.
It's, oh my goodness, 2/28. I better get it right. It's not a
Get it
leap year.
right.
But if you turn the date around, just because we're talking about figures, we're not nerds, but we're talking about figures and we want to warm you up. So the date for this entire week, it's the same thing backwards and forwards. Of course, today is the ultimate day because all of the digits are twos, and it's also Tuesday. So it's a big day and it's a big week for you to be making some strides and new decisions in your life. And we hope that will be a memorable one. Now, with that said, we're going to play the game of life. And does this board look familiar to any of you? It's gone through so many changes since we were growing up. They now have the digital version, but we're going to play the real life version and look at some real life scenarios. So Megan, you take it away. So before we get started, I just want to make sure everyone, if you have your budget sheet available and you're ready to start, type some twos in the column, in the chat below. Let's see some twos going. Give us a string of twos. We'll know that you're ready. If we don't see the twos, it looks like you may need some more time. Okay, I see everyone, the twos are coming in.
The twos are coming in.
If you're ready to play, come on, let's see. Only 1, 2, come on, it's Tuesday. Can we get at least 2? A minimum of 2 twos, please.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
We have some takers. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. If this was money, we'd be rich.
All right, so
okay, great. I love it.
So
this is a fun group.
Absolutely. So we are going to be speaking about the game of life. But really, as we go deeper into it, you'll see we'll be talking about budgeting. And really, at the end of the day, what you have to do is focus on your mindset, because that's what's going to make the changes. And then those changes, as a result of your mindset, will determine the lifestyle that you can afford to live. So and that ties right in neatly with our theme. It's about putting 2 + 2 together. It's about mindset and lifestyle changes. So this is going to be an interactive session. We need you to be dropping your comments in the chat. And what we're doing is we're going to go through life, the game of life. And what we'll be doing is we are going to start you off with a particular amount of money. I know some of you make more, some of you make less, but work with us today. We have a certain amount of money, and you'll see that on your budget sheet. And then there's several expenses that you will be asked to choose which one you will do. And life is all about choices, and after choices, the consequences of those choices. So We're going to go through, and for each expense, we're going to ask you to choose which of the options that are there, and then you decide the amount of money you will spend on that particular expense, bearing in mind that you have a set amount of money. All right?
Let's play. It's your play. Let's do this. Okay, so Megan, you get started, and then go right ahead.
I just want to quickly speak about financial wellness. We'll come back to it a little later in this session, but I want you to have it at the forefront of your mind. Financial wellness is a state of being in which you can meet current and future financial obligations, where you feel secure in your financial future and make choices that let you enjoy life. Matt Gardner, when he did his presentation today, which was so interesting, he mentioned that it's not so much about how much money you have. And that's so true. I've met persons who have a lot of money, but you can't quite see that they're saving. And so they're not necessarily financially well. So it's your state of being. So that really is your mindset. And from your mindset, you can then move on to ensuring that you meet your current and future financial obligations. So bear that in mind, because that's where we want everyone to be. That's the path we want everyone to be on, a path of financial wellness. So we're going to start our game, the game of life. And you are all now given $5,000. Woohoo! You have $5,000.
That's a good salary. You can live a decent life in Antigua on $5,000 a month, right? That's a good salary.
So we start off with $5,000 and we have a quote. We are big on quotes and sayings, as you will see. And Robert Kiyosaki, he wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's another good book you can read. It's not how much money you make, but how much money you keep and how hard it works for you. And that's so true. Two of us could get $5,000. You take $5,000 and you put $2,500 in your savings. I take my $5,000 and I go down to Redcliffe Key and Heritage Key. Maybe not me, but and I spend on different things. And I don't have any money in my bank account, but we both made the same amount of money. So it's not how much money you make, but how much money you keep and how hard it works for you. So remember that. Oh, with your $5,000, you need to live. So you have three choices. Are you going to be in your own home? Are you renting? Or are you going to be living at home with your parents? And of course, depending on the expense that you choose, then the amount of money that you spend will vary. So if you're living at home with your parents, you probably won't spend as much as if you're living on your own. But then you have to deal with mommy and daddy and brother and sister and all of that. So there's some other things you might have to consider.
Life issues.
Absolutely. But for this
lifestyle.
For this game, we want you to look at these three expenses and make your choice. Once you've made your choice, on your budget sheet, you will see where these three things are listed. You then insert the amount of money you're going to spend on that particular expense.
So and you're taking one of three, and you're going to put an amount against it. It's all your play. You get to decide. And to read, there's a little inspiration at the bottom. Right. Of course, you know our mantra at Samuel Fields Consulting is nickel by nickel. So we wanted to bring some real Antiguan and Barbudan flavor to all of this. And so for all of these entries, I will read a nickel inspiration and also the lesson. And a lot of these inspirational thoughts came from Granny, Dada, Auntie. These are things that have been handed down to us, of course, in our parlance, in our dialect. And for this particular one, now put your head where your body can't pass. The lesson for that is keep your goals within your abilities and your means.
And we've heard that many times, haven't we?
Oh, yes. Our parents, our foreparents had, they may not have been formally educated as we have been, but they had a lot of, as my mother would say, capital sense. They may not have had capital sense, but they had common sense. Sorry.
Not a common. So I trust you have already put in your expenses. We're going to move on. And the next expense is food. We have to eat, but how are you going to eat? Are you going to cook your own meals? Are you going to do a combination of cooking your own meals and going to a cook shop? You know, we have some famous cook shops around here. Or are we going to dine out? Of course, again, the choice that you make will determine the amount of money that you will spend.
And you know what, to me, that in moderation, because I like to do a little of both, of everything. You know, I mean, it depends on which one you do the most, but you know, if we're talking about balance and living a balanced lifestyle, I'd like to be able to do a little of both. But in this case, you have to choose one that you do predominantly. So if you mostly dine out, then that's the one you would choose. And you select your amount. Are you ready for the nickel inspiration? Anybody remembers this? Wanna kill fatten? What that really means is that which does not destroy you makes you stronger.
I can tell you that is so true. The amount of things that I didn't want to eat, but had to eat and heard wanna kill fatten, and I'm still here, fat too.
Or if something fell on the floor and you wanted to justify still eating it, you dust it off and you say, wanna kill fatten.
You blow it off, right?
Those were the days. Anybody remembers that? Let's see some twos. We want to make sure you guys are hanging in there. Let's see some twos. Wanna kill fatten. Tell us if you remember that. Let's see some twos in our chat. All right.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes.
Everybody, nobody died. Everybody stayed fattened. All righty. I actually like the cook shop example. I'm going out to Cavell in she used to be in Crab Hill, but now she's at Darkwood.
Oh, okay. I would go to Emily.
Choice.
Emily by West Indies Oil.
Where's
That's
Emily
on my way.
located?
She is by West Indies Oil on the way, just on kind of diagonally opposite Billy's.
Oh yes.
She's
oh,
close
yes.
to me, so yeah.
She's there.
Yep,
She's there during the week too. I know she's there on Saturdays.
From Wednesday, I think. Wednesdays
Oh,
right
wow.
to Saturdays.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So that's where we are with our food.
Mm-hmm.
So we go on to our next one, utilities. You gotta pay APUA.
APUA.
Gotta pay APUA. You gotta pay Digicel. You gotta pay Flow.
INET.
But so a lot depends on where you're living. So if you're in your own house, then there's a certain amount of expenses that you would pay. If you're in your apartment, they may be a little different. And if you're living with your parents or a roommate, then you probably have to share so you don't pay for the entire amount. So again, you make the choice and you will see where you can enter this on your budget sheet.
And of course, it's going to reflect your quality of life, your lifestyle when you have your own home versus if you have roommates or you live with your parents, it's going to be a little different. So again, it's your plate, it's your choice. You pick, you know, given your lifestyle, given your choices and your budgeting and your money management choices, that will to a large extent determine your lifestyle choice. So let's get a little inspiration here. Moon run fast, but day catchy. It means you can't run forever. One day you will face the consequences of your actions.
And let's put that into context with your spending habits. If you keep on spending, one day, you will have to face the consequences of your actions. Or
because you can't take out and don't replace.
Or you have a debt and you bury your head in the sand and ignore. One day you will face the consequences of your actions. So
absolutely,
what it means is you have to be responsible with your money. You have to manage your money, whether it's with paying your debt, whether it's with savings, whether it's with investing, whether it's even taking care of yourself, which sometimes we don't do. You have to make sure that overall you manage your money. All righty, let's move on. Transportation, you need to get around. Are you going to use your own car? Do you have your own car? Or will you use public transportation? Or will you walk or bike? Sometimes
or
that's
hitch
what
a
we might
ride.
have to do.
Or hitch a ride.
Well, we didn't put that in because that's free.
Similar to a bike and walking. Okay, so again, it's about convenience. If you own your own car, that's going to be the most expensive option, but also the most convenient option. You turn your own key, you move when you feel like moving, and you just have more convenience and more control when you have your own car. Public transportation in Antigua, let's not even go there, depending on where you're traveling to and from. So again, your choices, how you spend your money will determine the quality of life that you have. And it's time for some little inspiration. Take time and walk fast. What that means is, the lesson really is, master the basics before you attempt more difficult tasks. Anybody can relate to that? Let's see some twos. Take time and walk fast. All right.
And I don't know about you, Diri, but when I was younger, I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
You're telling me
like
take
craziness,
time
right?
and walk fast?
Yeah, yeah.
But as I got older, I got it. It made sense.
Absolutely.
To
It's a
master the
balancing act.
basics.
It's a balancing act.
Balancing act, yeah.
You know, you have to move swiftly, but at the same time, be careful, be cautious.
Be cautious.
Yep.
And again, our motto at SFCG, little by little. Take your
Little by little. Once you're moving, you're good.
Yep.
Once you're moving, you're good.
Walk fast.
Yep.
Let's move on.
All righty.
So our next slide is our expenses. Children's expenses, that is. So we have 3 of them. You know, our children are important. So are you going to be spending on school fees?
Megan, I think you're a little frozen. So I will continue. School fees, lessons, or childcare. Clearly, this is going to be, I mean, most of us have to spend on all 3, and it depends on how many children you have. So the more children you have, the more expenses you will have. And then, you know, you get to choose how you spend money on your children. So let's pick one of these 3 to decide which one of these expenses you're going to focus on. Of course, this is just an exercise. Chances are we spend on all 3. And
surely do.
Let's get a notation that reflects. If you have more children, for me, I have twins. Today's two days. Isn't that interesting? It just hit me.
Absolutely. You have 2.
I have twins. I have two. So you know, I was spending I didn't have any delay. I spent everything, you know, they're at the same stage at the same time.
2.
So, and it's 2. So let's get your entry in for your child or your children's expenses. Megan, back over to you. I did not give you the inspiration.
Absolutely.
It is passing christen epicni fuss. And the meaning of that is people look out for themselves before others. That's just the reality of it. Passing is going to christen. Passing christen epicni fuss. And you shouldn't have that. You should expect that from people. They look out for their best interests first. Most of us, that's what we do. It's just the reality of life. Okay.
All right. So we move on to other expenses. I hope you're hearing me. I did have a bit of an internet situation. Yes. I don't know.
Am I jumped in? I realized that you're a bit frozen.
The thing is, I could hear you. I could hear, but somehow you guys couldn't hear me. Somebody went and whispered to Inet. Come on, folks, don't do that.
Yeah. Don't be talking bad about Inet, okay?
You know,
that's what you get.
Well, I'll zip it up. So we have other expenses, and there's tithing, insurance, and other, because you know there's always some other.
Always. So
for this exercise, we're going to just confine it to these 3 because we know there are many other expenses. So you decide whether you're going to tithe, whether you're going to be paying your insurance, or whether you're going to do something else. And, you know, in a real life scenario, you may most likely do all 3.
Exactly. And, you know, I chuckle reading this because we did this presentation before, and there may be 1 or 2 persons on the line who saw this presentation before, and somebody pulled us up and said, you did not have tithing. Yes. So we went back to the drawing board, and we had to include tithing.
We included tithing. We're
in a society like ours, and at a time like this in a pandemic, you know, you need to be, yes, someone wants to know if all insurance, yes, we're just looking at think of all your insurance combined, auto, life. They still have dog insurance, Megan? Oh, that's dog license. Is license? You have to license. It was an insurance, okay. Insurance. But they do have pet insurance in certain places.
They do. I'm sure they do. So this
health
covers
insurance for yourself, life insurance, auto insurance. Yes, we're just looking, it's an exercise just to give you some exposure. So yes, let's not get too granular. Let's just throw everything into your insurance bill. And of course, I have a little inspiration for you. And the inspiration is, do as you like, but not as long as you like. So you can do as you like, but not for as long as you like. It means that everyone has a breaking point and every situation has a breaking point. So at some point you have to be accountable.
So true. So very true.
Yep.
And that's why it's important to have a budget. So you know exactly what it is you're going to do with your money. So you get into your habits, because having good financial habits will then help you to be on your road to financial wellness. So you're not going to do as you like and go and spend as you like and all of that, because you have some financial goals you want to achieve. All right, let us move on. So, we need to have some debt. It would be ideal if we were debt-free, but we live in a real world. And sometimes we have student loans or personal loans. Those of us who have businesses, we might have a business loan. And then there are so many other loans you might get for other things. So you have a debt.
Don't forget to pay for it.
Okay. So this amount is what you're going to pay for the month, not what your total debt is. We're looking at what is the monthly amount that you have to pay back to the bank, to the credit union, to courts, to finance and development company, or any other microfinancing company that might be there. Or the money you borrow from your sister or auntie or mommy, it's still a debt.
Trust and slow pay. Remember that? Or trust and don't pay.
So,
oh my goodness.
Just look at the amount you're going to be paying back in the month, not the total debt. Yes. Because we're just looking at your expenses for a month.
Yes. And of course, a little inspiration once again. And want all, get none. Anybody remembers that? Want all, get none? Excessive greed.
Oh, yes.
Puts one in danger of losing everything. Excessive greed puts one in danger of losing everything. Any twos on that? Anybody can relate? Want all, get none? I'm sorry, want all, yeah. Want all, get none?
Want all, get none.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Moving right along.
Moving on. We then go to our savings because it's important. We're not just going to spend. We need to save. So, of course, we have the box money, credit union, or special savings. So you're going to choose one of those three and then decide on the amount that you're going to save.
Under the mattress, that would be special savings?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
But I'll tell you, be careful with that. Under the mattress, don't let the rattles get that.
A human ratter. Human ratter too.
That too.
Oh my goodness.
Oh goodness.
This class must be saying, where did they get these two crazy girls?
It's crazy girls. But hey, that's how we roll. That's how we roll.
Yes, we have to give you a little midday break. So let's see how much you're going to save. And as you decide on your savings amount, I have a little inspiration for you. One full basket. Or like some people say, little full basket.
Little.
And as we've been saying here today, small amounts will eventually add up. Anybody can relate to that? Let's see some twos. Let's see some twos. And at the same time, we have one final entry before we do our last entry for the month. I hope people haven't run out of money totally, but we'll see. Because if you say that you can't spend it, you have a finite amount of money. So Megan, let's get the final entry on our budget.
Well, I just want to say, somebody mentioned in the chat, don't forget Bex money. Just saying, I'm leaving it right there.
Who pays that?
I never got or gave, so I am not in a position to say.
I wouldn't mind getting some Bex money. No sense you Bex and you don't get paid for it, Some of us just
so maybe we need to ask them who pays the Bex money.
Yeah, who pays the vex money? That's another, the next conference we have, we may just, look at couples and talk about
vex money.
some of those dynamics, because that is huge.
Wow.
What do you guys think? A course in the future that talks about.
I like what somebody said. Somebody says, put aside your vex money. That's your money for yourself.
Oh, I like that.
I like that.
So when they mess with you, you just go shopping or jump on a plane and go to Puerto Rico or Miami.
You know what I'm saying? That's
a
good idea.
I like that. That's good advice. So yeah, anybody interested in hearing about couples and the dynamics of a household and how you commingle finances?
Yeah,
people probably say, not my money. We're not commingling nothing. All righty.
Wow. Okay, so let's move on. And so the next one is, you know what? From time to time, we do have mishaps. So you know how life goes. Life happens. You COVID, make all COVID the plans in the world. Oh, absolutely.
COVID showed us.
Yeah. And so we have some mishaps, not major, because we know there's some other major mishaps. We could have had hurricane and those kinds of things, but we have 3 mishaps. So your car just won't start. And I'll tell you, in my family, we've had some situations over the last few months where the cars just were acting up and we did not plan for them. So I can identify with car repairs. You also have house repairs. So you wake up one day, as a matter of fact, this happened to us too. And we had a big plumbing issue. All of a sudden there were leaks and we had to find the money for the house repair. Or you have a family member with medical bills. And that's a reality. We get ill, we get sick, and we need to go to the doctor. So,
and you know what, Megan, I was thinking the other day, sometimes you're not even ill, but with COVID, just to get clearance, you have to be tested.
Oh yeah.
And COVID, somebody in your family is exposed. You may not even have it, but you have to be tested to get clearance to go back to work, to travel.
That's pricey.
And that can wipe you out. I mean, if you have a family of 4, one person is infected, everybody has to be tested. Okay, that's a nice little piece of change.
Yeah.
So it's something in these times that it's very, very it's a clear and present danger.
Yep.
Are you ready for some inspiration? The last one. When them hate you, them give you basket for carry water. And what that means, the lesson really is people who dislike you will give you difficult or impossible tasks. Anybody can relate to that? Oh my goodness. Somebody already typed her juice. I guess this resonated. Oh my goodness. So yes, when hate you, then give you a basket to carry water. Picture that. People who dislike you will give you difficult or impossible tasks. So I hope we're going to come to the big question now. Who has money left? Everyone, look at your balance, because we've gone through all of our entries. So just drop in the chat. We want to hear how much money you have left.
I heard somebody saying long time ago, money done.
Okay. Anybody in the negative? Anybody owe money?
Negative.
Anybody have to go credit union? Anybody have to go to St. John's Credit Union to take out a loan to get it through the month?
Yep. Somebody says, what did I see? $5,000 can't take care of all those expenses. Somebody has a negative balance. The
reality is, for some people, that's what they earn.
Yep.
I agree. Yep. You can't take care of all those expenses. And like Megan said in an earlier presentation, you may have to explore a second line of income. You may have to get creative. You have to start, looking to see how you can leverage your talents and monetize some of the things that you do for free or you do for friends. Everybody asks you to bake cakes. Maybe you need to start charging people for the
Charging.
cakes that you bake.
Mhm.
You know, everybody likes your potato salad. Maybe you find a way to start selling food, or you know, everybody likes that, you know, you cut up t-shirts, you have some kind of skill that people
You braid
you don't
hair.
currently charge for.
Mhm.
How can you, you know, look at a second line of income?
And
So we hope
that's
that
key.
you guys enjoyed that. And, you know, as deliberate as we were in going through some of the expenses, giving you inspiration along the way, that pretty much mimics what you need to do in real life to address some of the challenges you face as far as budgeting. So,
Absolutely.
so Mika, let's go into the second half of our discussion.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to. There's something coming up.
Okay. Is it another slide that we're waiting for?
There's an audio that's coming up now. As we wait, you can just drop in the chat what you thought of the session.
Budgeting session, and that you will use that budget sheet to your advantage to make better financial decisions. Also included as part of your financial resolutions for 2022. Now we're off to discussions and the brainstorming. Okay.
So we're back.
Let's watch our time, because we have some discussions that need to be delved into before we get to the end of our presentation here today.
Okay, so we've finished with that session. As we said earlier, we were looking whole things about this, and we want to ensure that you are focused on your financial wellness and what's important. So on your screen, you will see 6 areas of financial wellness: budgeting, savings plan, emergency fund, insurance, retirement, and education. Those are the 6 areas that are key for financial wellness. We go back to the definition that we're using for financial wellness, where we're saying financial wellness is a state of being where you can meet your current and your future financial obligations, feel secure in your financial future, and make choices that let you enjoy life. So we want to have a discussion on your needs. What would you consider to be your greatest financial wellness need? It varies for everyone. We came up with this set of 2, 4, 6, 7 needs, and we are going to do a poll. So look at these, think about it. What's your greatest financial need? You want to be financially well, and what is the greatest need you have right now that would get you on that path of financial wellness? So we're going to be launching a poll. I'm
going to quickly go through, okay, the poll is coming up. Just to read through them very quickly: save for unexpected events, manage your debt, plan for retirement, maintain good physical and mental health, focus on financial education, personal financial accountability, and improved productivity at work. What would you consider to be your greatest financial wellness need, remembering what financial wellness is? Having control of your finances today, having plans for your financial future, and being able to live the life that you want to live, picking your own lifestyle. So based on that definition, let me just quickly go through these again and pick one: save for unexpected events, manage your debt, plan for retirement, maintain good physical and mental health, focus on financial education, personal financial accountability, and improved productivity at work. Which of these would you say are your greatest needs right now in terms of achieving financial wellness? And the good thing about technology, we should have the results of this poll momentarily.
So we have a few more
Sushi,
minutes
we
to
are
go.
ready when you are.
Well, there are a few persons still entering, so let's just give them about 30 more seconds.
Yes. It'll be very interesting to see what everyone thinks their greatest need is now in terms of achieving financial wellness.
Okay, 15 more seconds.
Megan, you want to take the results of the poll?
Sure. Okay, I think we can close the poll now. Let's see the results. All right. So the results are, we have planning for retirement is the top one, 34%. Then we have personal financial accountability, 24%. And right on the heels of personal financial accountability, we have maintaining good physical and mental health. The others that were mentioned, save for unexpected events, that was 10%, improved productivity at work, 7%, and 3% managing your debt. So again, the top three are planning for retirement, personal financial accountability, and maintaining good physical and mental health.
How much was that one? Maintaining good physical and mental health?
21%.
Okay. Were you surprised by these results, Megan?
No, I'll tell you what, I was a little bit surprised at. I wasn't surprised at the top three because they actually are my top three. But I thought that we would have had more persons speaking about managing your debt.
Yes, I didn't expect that to be at the bottom. So if that's not a big concern here, this appears to be a very responsible group.
But then again, remember, it's your greatest financial wellness need. So perhaps in mentioning what your greatest one is, you really could mention the next one, which might have been managing your debt. But
well, it's at the bottom, so it's telling,
Yeah, that's true.
Very few people chose it. So that's, it's not scientific, but it really tells us where everyone's head is. And I think, given these results, it's very clear financial, planning for retirement is definitely a major concern for many.
And so what that tells me is the audience most likely are perhaps over 40. And I would say that that's really a good financial wellness need that we should be focusing on.
It's a really good goal, for sure.
It really, really is. And so I was going to say that planning for retirement is one of those things that if we're not careful, it can creep up on us. Mm-hmm. We're so busy. And I'm talking from a woman's point of view. I mean, I really can't speak from a man's point of view, but as a mother, as a wife, as a person who works, we focus a lot on our children, we focus on our husband, we focus on our homes. And sometimes if you're not careful, planning for retirement doesn't become one of the things we focus on.
Right. You don't prioritize it. And before you know it, you're in the last 15 working years of your life.
Yep, absolutely.
10 working years of your life. And you really have to focus on, how are you going to, what's your plan after you retire? Even if you phase it and you go into semi-retirement, It's something that,
It's something to
I
think about.
agree. We just don't think about it.
We don't. And here's
I
the
want to
thing.
leave some time for questions. We had
Okay.
you guys have been such a great audience. You've been very interactive. I would imagine that there are some questions. We will continue the discussion, but I
Drop your questions
encourage
in the
you.
chat.
Yes. So let's start getting the questions going, Megan.
Okay, someone has said, maybe we aren't as concerned about our debts as we should be. Interest rates are very low. That's an interesting point of view.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So I will encourage us all. It doesn't matter your age. Get a retirement plan in place. It probably means you put aside a certain amount of your savings and you don't touch it for retirement, or you invest in something long-term, knowing that, okay, that's your little nest egg, but whatever it is, because it varies, it will vary for everyone, but get that in place.
Absolutely.
Personal financial accountability. I was quite pleased to see that I'm not the only one. We all need to be accountable. And for me, that is an area that I know I need to ensure that I have financial accountability. That keeps me in line, so that whenever I want to perhaps do, somebody had mentioned about impulse spending earlier, want to buy something that I just feel like I want to, I know I am accountable to someone. And so it's good to have someone else to whom you're accountable. Of course, if you're in a marriage, that makes it easier, or in a relationship, but it helps to be accountable. That way you can, you make a goal, you let them know what your goal is, and then you are accountable to this person. And it's always good to have an accountability partner, not just in financial things. An accountability partner keeps you on the straight and narrow. But of course, this partner has to be one who's going to be a sharpshooter and a straight shooter to tell you, listen, you're kind of messed up this week. You got to get back on track.
Right.
So I think if you have that would help.
And I often say, sorry to cut across you. Sometimes it's so easy to BS yourself.
Yeah.
But if you have a partner that holds you accountable, it's so easy to BS yourself and blow it off.
It is so true.
But if you have somebody looking you in the eye and confronting you and holding you accountable, over time they may not even have to say anything. You just know that your husband, I used to hide the shopping bags in the car, in the garage, when I got home, because my husband would know she went shopping. Let me see what she brings home. So I would leave half in the trunk and take half out, and then go back for the other half at night when he's sleeping. So that's called, that's BSing yourself, because who am I BSing? I'm BSing myself.
Absolutely. So you need the accountability partner.
Absolutely. Okay, some more questions?
Someone said debt would have been my second choice.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that debt didn't make it higher. But again, interestingly, findings are showing that people saved more during COVID. So that may be some correlation to why people are not, debt is not such a big concern anymore. Because I think for a lot of us, COVID has caused us to be a lot more cautious in our spending. So that could be one of the reasons.
And I'll tell you what, another thing COVID, I think, has done, especially with the lockdown, we realized we don't really have to go out that much.
And shopping.
And yeah, I mean, I know for the economy, it really affected the economy, and I can understand that. But I think being at home, staying at home, you realize, I really can cook some more. I really don't need to go out that much. I can find.
Do I need another pair of shoes?
Exactly.
And I'm working from my kitchen table.
Exactly.
Or from my home office, more often. True. So I've heard a lot of women say that during COVID, they stopped wearing heels because we were home so much.
So much. So true. And then the other one is maintaining good physical and mental health. And I am so glad that that
Yes.
was mentioned, because
Yes, that was what, number
is
3?
so key. That was number 3.
Yes.
That is so key.
Especially in light of what we have coming up next.
Absolutely, with our FinFET. Yeah.
Well, no, we have our lunch and learn.
Our lunch. True. I forgot that. I was thinking further down.
Yes.
Yes.
So, folks, continue to we'll try to field a few more questions. We have about a few minutes left.
Yes. Someone said maybe we saved during COVID because we had fewer opportunities to spend it during lockdown. You know what? I do believe that. And let's hope now that we're not under lockdown that you haven't gone and spent it, but you saved it.
There was a consequence to go out spending because you could have been infected. So you kept your body in the house and your money in your pocket.
Absolutely.
But folks, the next session, I don't want to run out of time, but we're going to come back to the questions. Please, if you can stick around for the lunch session, we are going back to Tradewinds Hotel. That is our base. We are going to enjoy a cooking demonstration with Chef David Allicock, a young, vibrant chef. He's going to talk about waistlines and wallets, where he's teaching you how you can cook healthy, nutritious, delicious meals on a budget. He actually breaks down the costs for you, forces you to go to the backyard and do some gardening, look at how you can supplement your eating. So very, very, for those of you who were talking about, what was it again? Focus, maintaining good physical and mental health. This is certainly a session that you don't want to miss. And of course, for everyone who's registered here today, there will be a prize drawing of dinner for 2 at Bay House Restaurant. Everyone loves Bay House.
Yes.
Everyone loves Bay House Restaurant. And if you haven't been there, you definitely should check it out. David Allicock, the chef, is simply amazing. Some of the most amazing views and a down-to-earth atmosphere at Bay House Restaurant. And of course, the beautiful Tradewinds Hotel, one of our major sponsors. Megan, before we wrap up, any more thoughts, questions to our audience, to our attendees, our delegates? Do you have any questions before we wrap up? We'd love to be able to.
There are no more questions in the chat right now, and we have just about 1 more minute. So if you do have a question, drop it in the chat as quickly as you can. The one thing I want to say as well is let's get on the path to financial wellness. We need to do it. The focus, as we've seen, has been on your greatest financial need is planning for retirement. So we got to start now. We have
and
to
the
start
wheel
now.
Behind you, Megan, is very telling. You know, our sessions in the FinFET will focus on 7 dimensions of wellness. And we have classes covering most of these areas during the FinFET. So stick around. It's going to be a day of learning. When we said 10 hours of learning, we didn't mean just classroom where you sit down and it's boring. It's going to be very, very interesting. These days, if you want people to go to school, including adults, you have to make it fun. So we put a lot of thought into things that you can enjoy while you get great insights from influencers and get a lot of great information. So stick around. You guys have been an amazing audience.
Thank you so much.
Bet you didn't know that budgeting could be so much fun. Hopefully you will keep that sheet, amend it as you see fit.
Yes, please
and
do.
Incorporate it into your lifestyle, little by little. You may not get it first or right the first time around, but it's about building healthy habits and traits.
So the last comment we had was a very practical session, and that was the idea. We really wanted it to be practical. We wanted it to be interactive, and you did participate. So thank you so much.
And can we get some tools before we go? If you had fun, if you enjoyed this, and you commit to doing better as far as budgeting, let's see some tools.
All right.
I am convinced that Anna has her tools, saved somewhere. These tools keep on. And
Keep on
happy
coming.
Tuesday to all of you.
Absolutely.
We
When I
hope
see
that you
these
will
twos,
join us for Little Bite Ideas. We have a show, a weekly show. We go back into production on March 3rd. It's on Thursday afternoons at 5. We hope you will join us and that you had an amazing time today. Stick around. We're headed back to Trade Winds and the Bay House Restaurant for a virtual lunch and learn. Take care, guys. See you soon.
bye.